Welcome to Unhappy Teacher Podcast, a safe space for educators to vent, get it off their chest, and to know that you're not alone. We're a community providing resources, advice, and tips to bring fun back into teaching. Today, we have our guest, Miss Kimberly Lee. Get ready because she is a true trailblazer in the world of education. Born and raised in Durham, North Carolina, she is no stranger to making an impact. A proud alum of the legendary North Carolina A&T State University, she embarked on her teaching journey in the late 90s, landing in the city of Alpharetta, Georgia. But her passion for education was ignited long before college. From orchestrating play school sessions with cousins to pursuing her calling with unwavering determination. Her journey began in 7th grade, driven by a fiery passion to educate and lead. After years of dedicated service in the classroom, she felt the winds change a little bit. And with the burning desire to stay true to her teaching philosophy, though, she bravely transitioned from traditional education to entrepreneurship. Enter the Math Tutor Network, a visionary venture led and owned by her, providing top-notch education under her expert and guidance. She has a stellar reputation and, again, 100% ownership, okay? She's a boss. She is a boss. So get ready because today we're going to dive deep into her transformation from traditional teaching into entrepreneurship. Let's welcome Miss Kimberly Lee.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Courtney. I'm honored to be here and to spend this time with you.
Yes, I'm so excited that we get to connect again. We met years ago through a mutual friend.
Yes.
And I mean, you just had this vibrant, lovely energy. And I think you're a Virgo, right?
I'm a Virgo, girl.
Yes, Virgos! Yes.
You're the
Yes,
6th?
September 3rd.
I'm the 13th.
Yes, Virgos unite.
Yes.
So yes, I see you. So
we see each other.
Yes. Again, I said just kindred spirits. So just thank you for being here.
Of course.
But let's jump into your teaching journey. What is something you've noticed? One thing you've kind of noticed with your tutoring with students, like reoccurring, like some issues they're having, like within math, like what are some of the difficulties you realize students are having difficulty with, and you know, if it's being addressed in school or not being addressed in school, or you wondering like, well, what the heck are these teachers doing?
Well, it's not one thing in specific, right? So we have the pandemic layover that's still happening because the kids got behind, because a lot of the kids that were virtual either really did the work, 1, 2, cheated, or 3, just said, screw it, I'm gonna go get some lunch. You know what I'm saying? Because it was hard to be in front of a screen for 7 hours. So that affected kids across, you know, the nation, you know, so to speak. So we're still dealing with the fallout of kids trying to get caught back up from the pandemic. Then we have some kids that have a retention issue, right? They may get it in that moment, and you may ask them in 5 days, it's like they never saw it. And so then at that time, we offer more consistent sessions, like twice a week, or maybe an hour and a half versus 1 hour. Because obviously, if you see it on Tuesday, again on Thursday, you're going to retain it more than just seeing it once every 7 days. So my suggestion is always to have consistency. Don't call and say, I want a tutor just when we need it. Or we have a test on Friday, can you send somebody tomorrow? No. I mean, we're very like structured in how we handle our services, but we also provide stellar services. And so you have, not just that, I always want to make sure I have a tutor that's a great fit. I don't look in the system and say, oh, Brandon Johnson is low on hours, I'm going to give him Courtney because Courtney needs him tomorrow. It has to be, because I have some parents, I don't want a male, I have to be very specific in who I assign. And so I do a consultation, and I ask a ton of questions from the parents. And when I do that, I match up a tutor that I feel is a good fit.
Yes.
And once they get that learning style, then they can kind of fill in those gaps that they may notice when they're working with them.
Yeah. And it sounds like you also need dedicated parents as well. These parents are dedicated to bringing their child, or dedicated to their child's education.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. I think the pandemic was a wake-up call for a lot of parents, especially the elementary kids, when the parents had to watch their kids all day long and then make sure they're learning.
Wasn't that something?
Was a lot. So I think the mindset of a lot of parents changed. And so it's definitely, we're more appreciated now than we were before.
You know, I wish that we can continue to be appreciated in other ways. But let's break it up a little bit. We're going to now do teacher confessions. Okay. So I have here 3 teacher confessions, and I have to choose one that I think is the truth. So one of them is the truth. I'm going to read them all out loud. So Kim, it says, I dated a fellow teacher at my school. I taught Morris Day's son, and that's the band leader, right? Is it? Don't get me started. Is it the Return of Mac person? No, Morris Day.
He was with Prince.
Okay, yes.
Morris
and Day. A former student had a hardship and had to live with me for 2 months. Oh man, this is good. I want to choose a former student had a hardship and had to live with you for 2 months. Is that true?
That's not true.
Oh man. I
tried to give you some really complicated ones, but you couldn't figure it out.
That was a good one. I was like, oh man, if that happened. All right, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I dated a fellow teacher at my school.
I did not.
Oh man, I'm still wrong. So you taught Morris Day's son.
I taught Morris Day's son, and back then I think he actually was still with Prince. But
okay,
I taught his son, and he came to one party. It was a Valentine's Day party. It was the only party he came to. He had on his long trench coat, and he stood by the door the whole time. I adore his son. His wife was absolutely stunning, beautiful.
Yeah.
But I just felt lucky that Miss Lee got Morris Day's son. So yeah, but
I'm pretty sure you have a lot more stories too.
Yes. Yes.
Let me ask you, how do you manage stress? Being an entrepreneur, you know, and also being passionate about, you know, education. So you're not just doing your company because you're trying to just solely get people's money and income, but you're passionate about it. You know, as you said, you dived in and looking at, you know, the students' progress and matching them up. How do you manage stress? How do you deal with everything?
So every morning I pray and I meditate, and I do it in the bathroom with the lights off. I pray first. 3 days ago, I was crying while I was praying. I'll play a gospel song, whatever I feel. It's not like structured, right? It may just be pray, and then I meditate after I pray. It could be pray. This morning I listened to I Thank You For It All.
Yes.
And I listened to that, and then I meditated. So I have to get my inner space aligned because it's so much. You might have to deal with a tutor issue, a parent issue, life issues, and you're trying to manage all these different tutors and then all these schools, and then again, you're self-employed. So your money isn't the 15th and the 30th, it's when you accumulate it or when you generate it, right? So it's a lot. And so I have to start my morning just in peace. I don't want no smoke. Don't come with no drama. Don't call me with drama at 7 o'clock in the morning. But if they do, though, I feel like I'm already grounded from prayer. I feel like I'm good. I'm really big on working on my manifestations and my prayer.
Yeah, same here. I'd say when I go into the class, actually, I used to, one year, our warm-up or I put in the morning, on board in the morning, were quotes. I would start the morning every morning with some type of inspirational student quote.
That was nice.
And I would make students read it, interpret, or write it down. Even if you don't want to write it down, we're going to talk about this quote. And it kind of helped me too, because, you know, some days you come into work and you're just like, ugh.
Yeah.
So it really helped me set my mind straight, and I really wanted to model that for students. It's kind of hard because kids are going to be kids, but yeah, that's part of being the passionate educator, right?
But that I like that, because that's not offered in schools, and kids they go through so much. They've been through so much, just like I said, since the pandemic. They need that mental clarity. They need peace before they start their morning work or whatever's about to happen. Your first thing. I think that's actually a great thing.
I find that, you know, a lot of students right now, they just want to talk. They just want somebody to talk to. And a lot of times I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't want, what, you tell me all your business. They just want to come, hey, Miss Sela. And they just want to talk. They just want to talk and get things off their chest or just know. And I'm like, okay, you know what? So I give them that time. But I'm also like, oh man, as I'm thinking, I'm like, y'all need some like counseling, some group sessions so that kids can talk, especially in middle school. I say this, I don't know, I went from elementary to middle school, but 6th grade is,
it's a vast difference from what you had in elementary school.
It's different. I mean, they are, you know, transitioning, the hormones. It's just, it's weird. It's weird for me because they're like still young, like they're 11, 12, but their minds, because what they're exposed to, they think they're like 16, 15. It's so much that they're seeing and saying and doing. I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, why are we telling kids not to vape, not to smoke? I mean, we have to say that on announcements in the morning.
Wow.
Yes. Think about what you're putting in your body. We have to say that on the announcements in the morning. And now, catch this. We have to ban water bottles. We have to ban refillable water bottles. And I'm like, because we don't know what they could be putting in the water bottles and sipping on during class.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yes. I'm laughing because in my mind, I'm like, this is outrageous. We're talking about 12, 11, but no, yeah. 12-year-olds are not just vaping in the bathroom. They might be sipping on a little something in that water bottle too.
So it's like the plastic water bottle or like the
the plastic one. They can't have the they don't want them to bring the refillable ones or the plastic ones. They say, listen, if you want water, you're gonna go to that water fountain or go wait until lunch and when you get the little water. And I'm like, oh, this is where we've gotten to now. Like, I can't even trust a child with water bottles. Can't trust them to go to the restroom. We have to have restroom breaks. Yeah, we have to have full classroom restroom breaks like in elementary school because things are going down in the bathroom.
But dealing with that, does it make you want to go back to elementary school?
And you know what? And this is where I feel like I have to really think about it because I transitioned from elementary school because one, I wanted to see what happened when my students got to 6th grade. I'm still teaching the same demographic population. I wanted to see what happened when you leave elementary school, and I know you're not prepared because we are just passing kids on now, right? What happens when you get to middle school? It's even worse. They are struggling so bad because it's no more you're in this classroom with me, I'm doing guided reading with you. No, you better get this material, get it this time. Everything is so fast paced for them. They're not transitioning well. So that was one reason why I wanted to go. Second, I needed to see better administration. I need to see a different, like what does administration look like maybe over here compared to where I was at? And I will say I am in a situation now where I actually can see my administrators as mentors, as role models, like, okay, they're doing something good that I like, that I admire. So yes, it was a blessing that I'm over here now, but I don't know how long it will be, thinking about transitioning. What does that look like? Does it like the Unhappy Teacher podcast?
You'll know. You'll know.
Right, but you'll know when you
it's
know.
Unwavering. It's not something that you're going to go back and forth, teeter-totter, change it. Like, you're gonna know.
Yeah, and I really feel that because one thing I do know is that I love teaching. I love being an educator. Like you said, we're taking teaching in the classroom now and it's transitioning, being an educator, a global educator. That looks like, educating all different types of people. So yeah, I definitely think that's where I'm leaning to right now.
Yeah.
Yep. And so in managing, life and stress like that, I know you talked about music and starting your day with meditation. What is your playlist? Like, what is your teacher, educator playlist, your top, 2 or 3 songs right now?
Oh, gosh. I don't think I have a top 2 or 3 because I have my sound bar on. So one or two things are always happening. I either have my earbuds in, listen to an audiobook, or if I don't have my earbuds in with that, then I have my sound bar on, listening to music. So on Pandora, it'll be Jill Scott radio, it'll be Anita Baker, it'll be Anthony Hamilton, and it's just rotating as I'm getting ready. Now, if it's like a Friday night, I'm getting ready to go out, then it probably changes to ATL.
Yeah.
We can't be, buttoned up all the time.
I know, right?
But Neo's I love Anita Baker, I love Jill Scott. I can hear Jill Scott all day, but then you want to just unwind and just,
Yeah, kind of relax.
Close the laptop and have a good,
I play that in the classroom a lot too as well. I think I do this now, neo soul, lo-fi type of music. Yeah, I really vibe out to that. Well, before we wrap up, I am going to ask you one more kind of serious question just to see, you are an experienced educator, and have a lot under your belt. What do you see the future of education? Where do you see the future of education going?
The future of education going? Yeah. My biggest concern right now is AI. I think that kids are finding more ways to do what they're not supposed to be doing.
Who, child? Tell me about it.
And I don't like it. I think, unfortunately, I'll say kids text how they talk, how they text.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can text that, but you can't talk to me the way that you're texting, right? And they become so used to just shorthand talking and texting that's how, I'm like, this person gonna operate on me when I'm 65? Dear God, what are we in for? So not just the fact that, but I feel like at the same time, our grandparents probably thought we were ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's just generations, I guess.
Generations.
But for me, I'm really concerned about the AI approach and how so many things are not what they are, and even how kids are using that to do the work for them. I think that's going to be a really serious issue for education, and really being able to determine if kids has mastered the content or not, or if it was just all through other means.
I agree with you 100%. I see it now where I'm like, hey, let's write about this. And I have one student, no matter what I give, even if it's from your own idea, hey, just tell me about what you did yesterday. Here he go to his computer. And I look, I'm like, that wasn't even an assignment. And I can tell you just put this into something, and they just don't want to think. And then even going back to writing, once you get past like second, third grade, we're not teaching like
the mechanics of it.
No, I mean, it's to the point where I have students in 6th grade, and even trying to teach them grammar and how to write, I literally have to say this because going to the data and looking at, the test, we're not worried about spelling or grammar right now because that's only 10% of this test. I just need to know your thoughts. Literally, when they score the writing portion, they just want to see like format, organization. The kid can spell everything wrong. No grammar. It's only worth 5% of the grade. So therefore, when we're teaching it, we're only teaching it as part of 5-10% of the curriculum.
And the sad part about it is when the kids know that, like the scoring rubric, they're like, oh, they don't care about spelling. They put less effort into it because they know it's 5-10%. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to do the bare minimum.
So it's like you already don't have lacking these skills. I mean, it's just the writing whole situation. I think, even penmanship, forget that. Nobody's going to know how to write anything no more. Everybody's typing and using thumbs. So, yeah, the future, like if we think about 20 years from now, are we going to go like back? Or even like 10 years, are we going to like go back to like kind of structure, strict routine, writing, handwriting? Or is it going to be like, no more pencils. All we need is this electronic digitized
I can see
pencil,
that.
tablet. The desk might be who knows? We are literally in the Jetsons.
Right. No, I was going to say something similar. Even it really could even go as far as kids just talking into their electronic device and it's typing what they're saying. They don't have to type. They may not even have to show up for class. It could be a whole robot experience. Who knows? But I do feel like with the AI craze that's going on right now, it's going to be a downfall, in my opinion, for education, because I don't think kids are going to truly do, and not all kids, but I think it's just like, if it's available to you, some kids try it out and then they go, oh, that worked. And before you know it, it's taken over kids using their own brains to develop the answer.
Right. So I lied, I have one more question because I just thought about it. But for teachers or for students who are thinking about becoming educators, any students that are just coming out of college or even maybe people changing careers, what advice do you have someone that's thinking about becoming a teacher?
I'm going to circle back to our original question. I truly believe if teaching is not your gift, you should not do it. Because now so much has changed from when you and I first started. The tolerance and the patience levels are so low. When you have a passion for it, you're going to deal with a lot more. You're going to be patient a little bit more because that's your thing. It's your niche. It's like deeply within you, right? If it's just for a check, we've seen kids like fighting a teacher cussing at the kid, all kinds of craziness on social media. And I think sometimes, again, if it's like, well, I hate corporate America, but I definitely can just be a teacher. I'm just going to get my certificate and I'm ready. That's not a reason to do it. So if you're considering it, make sure it's something that you're ready to take all that comes with it, because you become so many things, from the teacher to the mom, the dad, the counselor, the nurse, the doctor, the therapist.
Everything.
And if you don't want to do that wholeheartedly, then teaching is not for you.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being our guest today.
I enjoyed
If you can just tell our viewers how they can contact you, tell them your social media, your website, if they need any tutoring.
Okay, so my website is www themathtutornetwork.com, and my social media for Facebook is the Math Tutor Network. And we don't use Instagram that much, but Facebook for sure, and website.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to Unhappy Teacher Podcast today. Make sure that you subscribe to @Unhappy Teacher Podcast and stay tuned for more.